No, the toadies, y'all are late. So we have a good show for you guys today. This one is from a channel called Mind Unveiled. All right, it's a little different from what we're used to showing, but this one is good. It's eye-opening, in my opinion. I've been binge watching this guy's channel. I want to address this comment really quick from Vigil Antioch. Good morning, SJVT. Hit me up. I want to plan a trip to come record with you. If you're up with it, Nick has my number. Yes, bro. Yes, and I would like to come up there as well. You can welcome to come record with me out here, but I'd love to go out there in your area. I know you need the backup out there as well. And I do have an announcement. I'm gonna give it to you guys right now, really quick. I'm planning to go out and record with Tulare County Cop Watch again. We're talking on the phone. And when we used to roll out together and do audits, we used to do a lot of good work together. And so we plan on working together again, maybe as soon as tomorrow. And the next day we'll be out recording. I might not be going live tomorrow and the next day. Just give you guys a quick heads up because I might be going out to go record again with Tulare. So Vigil Antioch, let's plan something out, brother. Let's definitely do that. So yeah, guys, this video comes to you from Mind
Summer
Unveiled.
2018.
This is a new channel. Actually, he's not.
You ready to continue down the rabbit hole?
He's not that new. I've watched several of his recent videos. He's probably got some of the best Epstein videos online right now. His channel, he should be getting 2, 3, 4 million views a video, because what this guy is presenting in his videos, totally fucking mind blowing. Knocks everybody out of the water, blows everybody out of the water with his videos and what he's showing. The last one 5 days ago, America is Under a Trance, was crazy. That one was fucking badass. But the one that I watched yesterday, The Bride of Farmer, makes a lot of fucking sense. So right before I watched the video, let me know in the comment section if you guys are familiar with the conspiracy theory of the Tartarians, right? I've watched several videos regarding Tartaria and a lot of the buildings that were here before. And I always wondered, well, if that conspiracy theory of Tartaria, if this is true, then why are people or whatever or whoever destroying the buildings that the Tartarians built? I've wondered that, right? But I was never able to put my thoughts into context for an answer or even a question, right? Yeah, Whitney Webb is the best, STD. She's badass. I've been following Whitney Webb for years, all right? I've been following Whitney Webb for a long time. And this guy's channel, Mind Unveiled, he sounds like the way he does his videos and his research and the way he puts them together, the editing as well, is just like a different channel that I used to watch. Oh, I forget his fucking name. When it comes to mind, I'll remember it. Nate, if you're in the live stream, what was that channel that we used to watch all the time? Let's go ahead and start watching the video. I'll definitely be pausing for some comments and some fair use, right? I got to give my opinions on this as well. But this just goes to show who Candace Owens really is. I love that this guy put this video together like this because it's mind-blowing. All right, guys. Check this shit out.
Hey, Candace. I want to start this video by saying that I'm not attacking you and that I genuinely care. If you saw part 5, you know we talked about Project Monarch and how Candace was the largest voice to have most recently discussed this topic. After that, a lot of you had some things to say, and I do appreciate it. It's not my intention to discredit Candace. My one and only intention is to present the truth. That's it. You can go and verify it for yourself. I'm not here to make claims. I'm not here to hate whatsoever. I read all your comments, and so before we begin with this investigation, Let me just set this up because truly I have the intentions to be fair here. So let me just respond to some of the most common comments first, and even some of the potential future comments so we can just get it all out of the way. Let's just focus on the research, guys. So first thing, the main point seems to be that I'm not a daily watcher of Candace. Look, I've been watching Candace Owens since 2016. Before the Daily Wire, before Turning Point, before any of that political stuff that most people know her for, I was a huge fan before all that. See, the thing is when I found out about her, I wasn't really political at all. I was just an artist, but I lost close friends over the whole BLM ordeal. But during that whole era, Candace was the only voice of light.
He's not the only one, because he calls out a lot of names, and it could be one of your favorite politicians. And that's the thing, like, if people think you're against Joe Biden, they're going to support you. They're going to be like, this is one of the greatest patriots that was ever on YouTube. And then you call out Trump, they're like, fuck you, San Joaquin, I can't believe you joined the left. And this guy is basically talking about the same thing. He's lost support from the left, and he's lost support from the right, because he calls out what I believe are cockamamie associations, organizations, nonprofit organizations. A lot of them do it for the money. A lot of them do it for whatever reason. What you guys are about to find out about Candace Owens, it's yeah, you're not gonna, once you realize and understand this truth, it's not going away, Candace. It's not.
You remember her holding her phone and recording the whole thought stream in one go? That to me is the real Candace. And I remember even sending my friend these viral clips trying to wake them up. But yeah, I've been watching her from the beginning. So let's quickly go through the others.
Me too.
1. The whole there's a method to her madness. She can only release so much info at a time. You just have to be patient. Well look, I disagree. In this video we'll explain why. 2. The whole book club stuff. Oh, she reveals more info in the book club. Okay, well, the truth is behind a paywall? What are you saying?
You see, the thing about what I love about this video, about what he's exposing with Candace Owens, is she's not like you or I, Sean Little, or Ogre, or Cape Cod, Cop Watcher, Brandon. We're just one of the people. We find ourselves in this community because we believe in freedom, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. We're not trying to trample on anybody else's rights. We're not trying to erase anybody's amendment rights or anybody's natural rights protected by the amendments. Good morning, Made in America. These people are not authentic, though. One thing that my friend, we got a call, he's on here. One of the things that he says is, if you know who they are, right? If they're famous, they go super viral. If you know who they are, then they're more than likely compromised. And I like that because this video proves that shit.
3. You're just hating. You're jealous. Absolutely not. Honestly, I'd rather do old world stuff. I'm doing this because I believe I have to. I'm the only one who can do this at this level. 4.
I can't lie. When I heard that, I was like, you're not being a little big-headed, are you? But I'm like, nah, he ain't bullshitting. This guy is the only channel that I know that's putting together the videos like this. Extremely informational based. Nate Skates, I have a question for you. Who's the guy that we used to watch that sounds like this guy a little bit? And used to do videos just like this as well. He stopped making videos and nobody knows what happened to him. For some reason, his name is not fucking popping up in my head. Come on, Nate, help me out. We used to watch a lot of his videos.
I'm some plant that is attacking her. Well, if I tell you that I'm not, you won't believe me. So why don't you just watch the video and then debunk it? Let me just be very clear. It is my goal to not make any claims. I just want to show you what exists in the public and what's in the files. That's it. There really is no excuse. Any other comment is just laziness. Do the work and verify it for yourself. Now let's lock in. A lot of you were very specific in the comments.
What's up,
Her
Josh?
husband.
What's up, Nova?
So I looked into it.
George Farmer.
And what I found is not what I expected.
Yeah.
The video is called
Mouthy Buddha. That's who this guy reminds me of. Please tell me you guys have heard of Mouthy Buddha before. Everybody was looking for Mouthy Buddha when he stopped making videos. They think that he was killed. People think that Mouthy Buddha was killed because he just stopped making videos. He hasn't made any. Yeah, Mind Unveiled, latest video. Nova. We have to watch this one, man. That was my favorite channel. Same here, Nate. Mouthy Buddha years ago, man. Before I even started my channel, we was watching Mouthy Buddha. The guy was dope. You can still find Mouthy Buddha's videos on Rumble and shit like that. So you guys, if you don't know who Mouthy Buddha is, make sure you guys look him up. But this guy, for some reason, I don't know if it's him. He sounds younger, but the tone is exactly the same. The editing is exactly the same. The video style is exactly the same. Just like Mouthy Buddha. Even talks like him and everything. Unless this guy watched enough Mouthy Buddha videos and says, I could do this shit too. But even this guy's research is just like the way Mouthy Buddha used to do his shit and the way he used to put his videos together.
Bride of Farmer. If you've been watching Candace's series on Erica Kirk, The Bride of Charlie, you kinda get it. But let me just quote how she opened that series. She said, quote, "A young woman with absolutely zero professional qualifications has been inserted at the top of an organization that pulled in over $250 million, and the media is telling you that you have no right to know or to ask anything about her?" Then she said, quote, "The public simply wanting to ensure the person who is running that organization is, at a bare minimum, moderately honest about who she says she is. No, that inquiry makes you a monster." End quote. She asked all the right questions about Erica Kirk. Who is this woman? Who inserted her? Why can't we ask questions about her background? Well, I'm gonna ask the same ones about Candace. But before I can show you who she married, I need to show you who she was. Okay, so Candace Owens. Candace grew up in Stamford, Connecticut. She went to the University of Rhode Island to study journalism, but dropped out after her junior year. Never finished a degree. After that, she moved to New York, got an internship at Vogue, worked her way up to a private equity firm in Manhattan, and during all of this, there was zero political involvement.
This video gets better and better as it continues to go, as we continue to watch. Like, he exposes who Candace Owens is, who her family is, who her parents are, who her husband is, and who his family is. Everybody that they're connected to. Yeah.
Zero conservative commentary. Nothing really. She was just working in fashion and finance in New York. Then in 2015, she started a company called Degree 180. It was a marketing agency with a blog, and on the blog, Candace Owens published anti-conservative, anti-Republican, and openly anti-Trump content. She wrote about the batshit crazy antics of the Republican Tea Party.
You see how these folks, they flip like that? Same thing that what's his name is doing right now. What's that dude's name that keeps flipping back and forth? He just went from like kind of like a Republican, a hardcore conservative. Now he's telling everybody to vote for Democrats. What's that fool's name? He's like fucking banned on all social media. Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes just did the exact same thing that they just fucking called Candace Owens out for doing. She flipped. When she came out, she was all Democrat, talking bad about the conservatives. And she flipped it and then went fucking viral. But how? Was it was the algorithm being authentic, or did they fucking skew the numbers by pressing buttons and say, Candace, you're going viral now? Yeah, no doubt. Wait till you guys watch this, Markle. Mark, is it Mark? Wait till you guys watch this shit. Yeah, Nick Fuentes, guys.
Hmm, so that's what she thought of Republicans. She wrote that conservatives would, quote,
Same here,
eventually
Scott.
die off peacefully in their sleep. We
I stand
hope.
with the people.
And then we can get right on with the obvious social change that needs to happen immediately. So she was quite the activist. Now, I don't want to hold her to that. And again, I want to set the right tone here. We just need to look at the history. I'm not here to make judgments. People change, people grow, but it gets deeper than that. As late as 2016, publishing anti-Trump content, then praising Trump within 12 to 18 months. And now in 2025, she's back criticizing him over foreign policy. So what happened? In April 2016, Candace launched a Kickstarter for something called Social Autopsy. This is the hinge point of her entire career. Social Autopsy was a website designed to track online bullies by cataloging their real names next to screenshots of their offensive post. Think about what that actually is. It's a public doxing database. You submit a screenshot of someone being mean online, and it gets filed under their real name for anyone to search. She wanted $75,000. She raised about $4,000 before Kickstarter suspended the campaign for violating their terms of service. And the reaction was immediate. Everyone hated it. The privacy advocates, free speech people, left and right, all sides came at her. People started doxing Candace herself in retaliation, and Candace blamed the doxing on progressives. Specifically, she pointed at Zoe Quinn, a woman who had been attacked during Gamergate. Now, multiple outlets covered this at the same time. The Daily.
One of the things that I do like about Mind Unveiled, Jethro, is the fact that he says, you don't have to believe me. Just go look at the facts or look at what I'm telling you and do some research for yourself. That's one thing that I do like about this guy. And I'll say this, okay? A lot of the things that he's talking about on here regarding Candace Owens and who she comes from, who her family is, because also, what's her name? Erica Kirk, right? Erica Franzi, what's her last name or some shit like that? She also comes from a background, a family who's connected to people in our government, right? The cabal, so they say. But so is Candace Owens. Like, I've heard a lot of this stuff regarding Candace Owens, but I've never seen anybody put it together in a video like this. And what I like about this video is, by doing research uncovering who she's connected to, this guy uncovers something massive, and it's in this video. He's not even talking about it yet. That's why when I started watching this, I was like, holy fuck. I was like, dude, this is what I was thinking. I didn't I was this these are the thoughts that I was thinking when I was, hearing about all this stuff, and back in the day we're talking about the Tartarians and all this shit, and these are things that I wondered, but I wasn't even able to put it into context for an answer or even a question. And this guy answers it on here by doing the research. Don't fucking go anywhere, or go watch this video on his channel uninterrupted by my fucking nonstop talking ass. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to sit here through me talking, pausing this shit. Go check it out for yourself. But Jethro, I get it. Not everybody is 100% correct on everything that they say, right? But I do like the fact, like I said, this guy tells you, go fact check me. Go fact check me. Huh. I don't know which one you're talking about. I'd like to watch that one though. Yeah, yeah, Mark. There's a lot of shit that's weird about it, right? The underground where they fucking covered it afterwards, like where you can that latch, that door that can go on. There's a lot of weird shit about that. All right. I have a friend who's a billionaire, who creates. He created the Tupac hologram. He's also done for the Queen, I think, in England and their people. He's done fucking work for them with holograms and shit, right? And I asked him, bro, was that shit a hologram? He didn't respond. What the? I better stop asking certain questions, right? And just so you guys know, I love life, all right? In no way do I want to hurt myself in any kind of way whatsoever, all right? Yeah.
Beast, Vox, and the word they used was scant evidence. That's their assessment, not mine.
What's up, Oklahoma?
And by blaming the left for attacking her, she was suddenly and instantly embraced by the Gamergate crowd. Anti-feminist, pro-Trump internet personalities, people like Milo Yiannopoulos, Mike Cernovich, and the emerging alt-right. So just to be clear
What's up,
about what just
Waterfront?
happened, a progressive woman tried to build a public doxing database, got attacked by her own side for it, blamed them for it, and overnight became a hero to the other side. The same crowd that should have hated the idea of a doxing website welcomed her with open arms because she pointed the finger at their enemy. That seems like her origin story. And listen to Candace's own words about what happened next. I became a conservative overnight. I realized that liberals were actually the racist. Liberals were actually the trolls. She said that to Dave Rubin. So let me get this straight. A woman that was blogging against Republicans and mocking Trump had her doxing business fail, blamed the left with scant evidence, and decided overnight that she was now a conservative? That was 2016. August 2017. Less than a year and a half later, she starts posting political videos on YouTube. September 2017. She launches a channel called Red Pill Black. Then she posts a vlog about the Charlottesville rally. It gets 80 million views. She comes out of nowhere, then gets 80 million views on this vlog. By the end of September, she's on Fox News with Jesse Waters. Zero political presence to 80 million views in Fox News, and
You guys are about to see how she got those 80 million views. That isn't just the algorithm saying here, like, this is authentic. We've been lied to about the fucking algorithm and how it works. We've been lied to about shadow banning. We've been lied to about channels being taken down for saying certain things. We've been lied to by the people who run these social media platforms. They say they don't shadow ban you, but they do. They do. And they also make people go viral. And you're about to see 80 million
under
views.
6 months. No experience, no established platform. Either that's the finest organic rise in political media history, or someone opened the doors.
I think I did see some of that video about the Michael Bay movie, The Island. Didn't Epstein pour millions of dollars into that movie? And I did see some weird shit about that video. What is it that you don't agree with about that video regarding that movie, The Island, with Ewan McGregor, the main actor? What was wrong about what he said on that video about the connections that he made? The Epstein files and the people connected to the Epstein files. Some of those people are connected to Hollywood. They even named the movie The Island.
I don't know which, but let's look at what happened. November 2017. Charlie Kirk announces Candace Owens as communications director at Turning Point USA. So 14 months from failed doxing website to one of the most powerful conservative youth organizations in America. Who made that introduction? Nobody's ever answered that publicly. She launched Blexit. Kanye tweeted, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." Every conservative stage, every Fox News panel, the machine was running at full speed. And then December 2018, she traveled to London with Charlie Kirk for the launch of Turning Point UK. And that's another event we all know. The one where she was attacked over the Austrian painter quote. Now I'm not going to repeat it because that's leftist stuff. You guys know what happened. Multiple TPUSA campus chapters called for a resignation. She would leave TPUSA in May 2019. After that, she joins the Daily Wire in 2021. So she basically stays on script for 3 years, then she clashes with Shapiro in March 2024, and then leaves. She posts, "I'm finally free." By 2025, she's calling Trump a chronic disappointment. She says she's embarrassed she told people to vote for him. Goes fully independent, launches her own show, starts her own Epstein series. That's the career arc. From anti-Trump blogger to conservative overnight, to TPUSA, to Daily Wire, to independent, to the biggest conspiracy theorist in the world. But rewind to that London trip in December 2018. Because while everyone was talking about the comments, something else happened. Candace sat down at a dinner table next to a man she never met before. His name was George Farmer. So apparently...
And that's the guy that she marries. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I'm wondering, are these people being hooked up, connected to the people that they marry? I was watching the Erica Kirk video with the guy that her ex-boyfriend. They did a video together in the past, right? Erica Kirk, Erica Francie, and her boyfriend. That Erica on that video was all bubbly. She was all laughing, all just being a typical fucking, kind of sounded like a Valley girl, right? She was just laughing, giggling, almost being her authentic self, which seemed kind of natural. But you see Erica Kirk right now, she's playing a fucking script in a movie, in a show. She is not acting natural. The fake tears and the fake crying and the fake, what appears to me to be fake, the fake mourning. There's no mourning going on there. She's wearing some looks like tight ass leather pants on stage, coming out like fucking WWE. Fireworks and all kinds of shit coming out. I'm proud to be an American. Come on, man. That's a show we're watching. But why was the old Erica behaving a little more authentic than the new one? Yeah, those eyes are crazy, huh? Man, I'm not gonna lie. Every time she her eyes through the screen, that shit puts fear into me. I'm looking at her like through the screen, and I'm just like, damn, she's gonna look right deep through into my soul. Use it against me. We will have succeeded when everything America believes is a lie. No shit, huh? Reptilian doppelganger. And Matt Damon. I can't believe Turning Point is that big anyways.
Here's what happened next. The Turning Point UK launch was held on December 11th, 2018 at the Royal Automobile Club on Pall Mall in London. The person who organized this event was a man named John Mappin. He's the heir to the Mappin & Webb jewelry fortune, one of the oldest luxury brands in England. And he's a reported Scientologist. He's also a known QAnon promoter. That's who put together the event where Candace met her future husband. Candace had actually been in London doing media all day. She was taping Russell Brand's podcast that same day and showed up late. And at a dinner organized by Paul Joseph Watson, the InfoWars contributor, she sat next to George Farmer. He was the chairman of Turning Point UK, the British version of Charlie Kirk's operation. He was the money guy. He was already installed before Candace and Kirk flew over. Candace later described it as love at first sight. December 12th, they have dinner alone. December 29th, George Farmer proposes to Candace Owens via FaceTime. 18 days after meeting her for the first time. February 14th, 2019, the engagement is publicly announced on Valentine's Day. In May 2019, George runs as a Brexit Party candidate for European Parliament. He doesn't win, but it tells you where his political ambitions are.
When Ian Carroll first came out, I was like, damn, this fool's badass. He's putting out a bunch of info. But now it just seems like he's following the whole fucking Candace Owens narrative. Just repeating some of the same shit that they say. So I don't know. I don't know about Ian Carroll anymore. But when he first came out, I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's the shit. December 29th, he tapped that ass. That's funny.
August 6th, 2019, private ceremony. August 31st, 2019, the celebration at Trump Winery near Charlottesville, Virginia. Eric Trump's the president of the winery. And look at the guest list. Nigel Farage, the leader of the Brexit Party, John Voight, Charlie Kirk, Larry Elder, Paul Joseph Watson, and Jerry Falwell Jr., the president of Liberty University who would later resign in his own scandal. They wore red Make Weddings Great Again hats. From first handshake to wedding, 264 days. Less than 9 months. From first handshake to proposal, 18 days. And when asked why, George said he heard a voice telling him to propose. So a voice told him. Now maybe it is just love at first sight. Maybe God really did just tell him. But before you decide that, you need to know who George Farmer actually is.
Here we go, guys.
Because once you do, the 18 days starts.
This is where the video gets fucking crazy. This is when I was watching this video. I watched it, uninterrupted by my loudmouth ass. And then when I got to this point, I paused it and I was like, holy shit. So let me show you this right here. What does that say right there? The Bullingdon Club. Don't forget that. Because I had never heard of this club before. But when I heard about this club, a lot of shit started making sense. What's up, people? One of the people. This live stream is a little different, but I think it's eye-opening, and I think it says a lot about what's gone on in this country. And there are some people in some private clubs that do some crazy shit. They even have initiation rituals that are insane. So now we are gonna learn about the Bullingdon Club. And if it wasn't for Candace Owens marrying this farmer dude, we may not even fucking have ever found out about this Bullingdon Club. So pay attention.
Very different. Okay, so George Farmer. Most Candace fans couldn't tell you a single thing about this man. His full legal name is George Thomas Stahel Farmer. Born in London, went to St. Paul's School, one of the oldest and most elite private schools in England, founded in 1509. From there he went to St. Peter's College, Oxford, to study theology. Got a first-class honors degree, which means he wasn't just at Oxford to party, he was academically serious. But remember that name, Stahel. We'll come back to it. But first, his father. And where he comes from is a level of wealth and political power that most people have never been anywhere near. George's father is Michael Stahel Farmer, and as of September 5th, 2014, his official title is Baron Farmer of Bishopsgate in the City of London. He sits in the House of Lords. He is a life peer in the British government. Lord Farmer made his fortune in metals trading. His nickname in the industry was Mr. Copper, because at one point, his company was the single largest trader of physical copper and nickel on the planet. He ran this operation from 1989 to 2000, and in 2000, he sold it. Guess who bought it? Enron, for $448 million. Yes, that Enron. And what's wild is Lord Farmer cashed out right before Enron collapsed. He sold at the absolute peak, after Enron imploded and destroyed thousands of people's pensions and savings. Lord Farmer walked away with $448 million and went on to co-found a hedge fund called Red Kite Group, which at its peak was managing $3.5 billion and was supplying roughly 15% of China's copper consumption. The family is worth an estimated £150 million.
We're only getting started on this club and who they are. Let me address this one really quick. So California governor should be Bianco? Nah, dude. Look, I don't like the Democrats that are in there, but Bianco's no different. That fool is already corrupt, one of the highest paid sheriffs in California, right? I believe Bianco is fucking another one that's compromised. Extremely highly paid, extremely corrupt, has fucking covered up the truths for many, many years. Bianco, Chadio Bianco is not good for California. Don't get me wrong, neither is Newsom, neither is anybody that's in there, but do not for 1 second believe that Chad Bianco is going to go in there to change anything. He's already said it himself. They've made it impossible for anybody to come in and change anything. Basically, what he's telling you is, I'm going to go in there. I'm still going to blame the Democrats because there's nothing that I can do. So we're going to continue this bullshit. Both sides continue to give cops more immunity, more power, more funding. Both sides. Both sides will continue to take our rights away. So no, shouldn't be Bianco. I'm not saying it should be the other guy. This game that they play, the lesser of two evils, we don't get our rights. All we do is get our shit taken away. At the end of the day, they're all trash. Nah, he's from Riverside County. He's not from Kern County, bro. Republican, Democrat, same thing. This is the kind of crowd that I like in my chats, on my channel. Is the kind of crowd who understands that both wings are two wings of the same bird. That's right, Nova. That's right. 40 minutes, still no love. Come on, Made in America. You know we love you. I said hi, I think, at the beginning. Just like cops, there are no good politicians. San Joaquin Valley for president. That's what one of the people tells me, that I'm going to run for president in the future. I don't know if that's true. I'll probably never run for president. My mom used to tell me, one of these days you're going to be president. Yeah, right, mama. All right, guys. Let's continue to watch, because this shit is important. You guys pay attention to this shit.
12-bedroom London mansion, properties in France, Morocco, Belgium, and a large estate in Tennessee where Candace and George now live. Now here's the thing. how did Lord Farmer get his title? Lord Farmer is one of the largest individual donors in the history of the British Conservative Party. He donated over £6.4 million. Some sources put it as high as 8 to 9 million when you include all affiliated donations. He served as co-treasurer of the Conservative Party from 2011 to 2015. And on September 5th, 2014, while he was still serving as party treasurer, he was created a life peer, Baron Farmer of Bishopsgate in the City of London, and given a permanent seat in the House of Lords. There's an investigation by Open Democracy that looked into this pattern. What they found is that every single former Conservative Party treasurer who donated at least £3 million was offered a seat in the House of Lords. Every one. And Lord Farmer, when the Sunday Times asked him about this directly, quote, "There has been a tradition of ennobling party treasurers," end quote. A tradition? And in the House of Lords, Lord Farmer has voted 81 times. He has never once voted against the Conservative Party whip. 81 for 81. Before the marriage, George was a partner at Red Kite, his father's hedge fund, from July 2017. He reportedly made £5 million in profit in a single month. After the marriage, the career gets interesting. He co-founded Redfield and Wilton Strategies, a political polling firm, in January 2020. Then he became COO and later CEO of Parler, the free speech social media platform, from March 2021 to April 2023. Then he became the executive director and shareholder of GB News, the UK media outlet, from September 2023. So that's hedge fund, polling, social media platform, news network. All in 5 years. But publicly, I'm exclusively interested in faith. Now go back to the 18 days. Now can we be real? A woman who became conservative overnight in 2016, whose entire political career was 14 months old, who had just embarrassed herself with the you-know-who comments and was being pushed out of TPUSA, sits next to this man at a dinner his organization arranged, and within 18 days, the son of a lord whose family is worth £150 million decides she's the one. Now the name. Shahel. Lord Farmer's full name is Michael Shahel Farmer. George is George Thomas Shahel Farmer. Every generation carries that name. The Shahel surname is Swiss. 61% concentrated in the canton of Zurich, records going back to the 13th century. Now some of my viewers have claimed this is Swiss Templar bloodline. I'll have to look into that more, but what I can tell you is the name is Swiss and it's centuries old. And this family carried it from the continental European commodity trading world into the British House of Lords in one generation. Okay, but let's talk about what George did at Oxford, because this is the part that neither Candace—
Check out this picture. You wouldn't think that these fucking guys would become powerful people, but this picture was hidden for years because a lot of these people in this picture, this special club that nobody really even knew about, they were making an impact. They were becoming supreme leaders. Pay attention to what they did, though.
nor
I'll give you guys a hint. I think they tried to erase history so that they can rewrite their own.
George ever talk about. At Oxford University, George Farmer was the president of the Bullingdon Club. Now, if you're American, you may not know what this is, but if you're British, you know exactly what this is, and you know it means something very specific about a person who was in it. The Bullingdon Club was founded around 1780, all male, invitation only. You can't apply, you have to come from one of the wealthiest families in the country, and existing members select you. The uniform alone cost £3,500. So what do? They hold grand dinners at expensive venues, and then they destroy them. That's the tradition. Smash the place up, pay for the damage in cash.
Now, why would they go and do that? Why does their club and some of their initiation rituals want them to go and destroy old buildings, possibly built by Tartarians? Why did they go and do that? Why does their club destroy old buildings? The only thing I could think of is to erase history, right? Yeah, no doubt. You're talking about Lords of the Underground, or what are they called? The Lords of Bakersfield? Lords of Bakersfield. And it's still going on with Zach Scrivener and his aunt, who's the, um, what is she, like the county uh, president or some shit? Is that what they call it? She's at the top in her county, his aunt. Zach Scrivener got shot here in Bakersfield, Kern County, got shot in the gut by one of his own kids for doing something to another one of the kids. Folks, you know how they have the whole release the Epstein files stuff going on? Just here in Kern County, we have released the Scrivener files because they're trying to hide those files as well. And they tried to give this guy a fucking diversion plea. What? No way, dude.
The initiation involves members invading your room and destroying everything you own while you watch.
The
Police
county
have
DA,
been
that's
called to
right.
Bullingdon events. George Farmer was president in 2010 when police were called to Hartwell House Hotel for criminal damage. Okay.
So pay attention to what he's talking about. He's talking about how this group, they rent the place out and they fucking destroy it, whatever. And they pay cash. They don't care. They pay for it if they destroy it. They got money to do that shit, right? This Bullingdon Club. And what he's doing here, he's not just talking about it, but what I like I said, what I like about this guy and this channel, Mind Unveiled, is he's showing you guys the receipts of it. He's putting it all the information together and then he's showing us receipts so that we can go and do our own research on it.
But here's
Mind
why
blowing.
any of this matters. There's some important people in this club. Two kings, Edward VII and Edward VIII. Three prime ministers, David Cameron, Boris Johnson, Archibald Primrose, the 5th Earl of Rosebery. Two chancellors of the Exchequer, George Osborne, Lord Randolph Churchill, Winston Churchill's father, Nat Rothschild. That's the photo they tried to suppress during their political careers. Cameron, Boris, all of them. This club has produced more British heads of state per capita than any organization in the country. So for Americans, this is basically Skull and Bones at Yale. Same structure, same function, 3 US presidents from Skull and Bones, 3 UK prime ministers, and 2 kings from the Bullingdon Club. George Farmer was the president of it. Now we're just getting started. You know what's even crazier? This all connects to the files. There's an email in the EFT archives, EFTA 02416209. It's from a man named Nick Lees writing to Jeffrey Epstein. Now Lees was close to Epstein. Epstein called him my boy. He was based in Singapore. And in this email, Lees is discussing British politics and he writes, quote, Eton, Oxford, Bullingdon running the country. What a wheeze. That's a private email to Epstein from a man he considered family.
Poor Dirt Farmer. SJVT, you had a guy on your panel one time that showed how they picked the next people of power. I wish I could find that video. Was it a guest or was I just showing a video of the guy? Was it a guest that I had? Because now you got me wondering who the hell I had on my panel one time.
And in a separate email from the same Nick Lees, He introduces Jeffrey Epstein to a woman named Nicole Junkerman. If you know about Epstein research, you've probably heard that name. Junkerman is a known Epstein associate connected to Ehud Barak. Lees writes to Epstein, "My great friend Nicole Junkerman is considering moving to Singapore. May I have her call you?" EFTA 02414840. I'm going to call this one the Rosetta Stone. Prince Andrew writes to Epstein, quote, "You should know that I was seeing David Rowland, my trusted money man who you should know from a long time ago. He saw Hugo Swire, the new minister of state Northern Ireland, and Hugo asked him a very direct question about whether or not I was still seeing you." David Rowland, Conservative Party's largest donor and designated treasurer, forced to resign because the press called him a shady financer. Prince Andrew calls him my trusted money man, and Hugo Swire, a Foreign Office minister, is asking whether Andrew is still seeing Epstein. In the same email chain, Epstein writes to Andrew, "I know you're seeing Jess Staley this morning. He's like family and can be trusted." Jess Staley, JP Morgan CEO, later Barclays CEO, like family. The documents show he visited Epstein's Island with his wife, flight numbers in EFTA 02025420. He sent his daughter's resume to Epstein. Epstein writes back to Andrew about Swire. "I used to shoot with Hugo. His great friend, Nick Lees, is coming to see me next week." Shooting parties with a Foreign Office minister, and Nick Lees, who jokes about bullying and running the country, is the same Nick Lees Epstein then connects to Nicole Junkerman. Junkerman, EFTA 02342424, forwards surveillance tech updates to two people, Ehud Barak, former Prime Minister, and Jeffrey Epstein. Same email, same time. EFTA 02426782. Nat Rothschild, Bullingdon Club, sends a private deal called Project Concordia to Jess Staley at JP Morgan. Lord Mandelson forwards the entire chain to Epstein with two words. Interesting. Protect. EFTA 01889668. Remember I said George Osborne, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Bullingdon Club? His chief of staff was a man named Ian Osborne. And Ian Osborne emailed Jeffrey Epstein directly. Subject line, confidential. Quote, "I spoke to George Osborne. He is certain that Jess's name was never put to him for a yes-no on Barclays, and he's equally certain that he would not have opposed it." So the Chancellor of Exchequer's own chief of staff feeding confidential information about banking appointments to Jeffrey Epstein. About Jess Staley, the same man Epstein called like family. And in a separate email, EFTA 01876305, Epstein's assistant Leslie Groff writes, quote, "You have mentioned Ian Osborne and Peter Thiel." The same Ian Osborne arranging Peter Thiel meetings for Epstein while feeding him confidential intelligence from the Chancellor's office. EFTA 02418723. Prince Andrew brokering David Rowland's Luxembourg private bank to Epstein for, quote, "your undecided Chinese?" Andrew writes, "Perhaps this is an avenue for your undecided Chinese," and he agrees that concentration should be on who pays who and when. And Lord Mandelson himself, EFTA 01838629, states directly that
I like how he, with every file that he brings up, he actually states the number of the file. That shit's fucking badass. He does that so that you can actually go and look at it yourself, so you don't think that he's just posting something that's been made up. He gives you the file number so you can go back and fucking and look at it. And that's amazing. No shit, bro. Wow. Find me that fucking file. We'll open it up and take a look at it. Whenever you hear about files or whenever you see numbers or anything, if you see a file, you don't want to forget it. Write the file number down. This is how the files are going to truly be exposed and expose a lot of fucking people, a lot of names. What I like about this guy, Mind Unveiled, is when he does his research, he tries to find certain things out and then he continues to dig for that. For instance, when he wanted to find out, how to uncover these files and how to do research on them, he picked certain topics and then went through the files and then extracted things from the files. For instance, what he wanted to find out was the businesses, the ventures that Epstein was involved in. We're talking about science. We're talking about fucking cloning. We're talking about fucking all kinds of different shit. Extortion. Epstein was involved in a lot of different shit with a lot of different powerful people. And that's why I like this guy's channels, because he brings you timelines and outcomes. And I think he puts these videos and his research together very fucking well.
Quote, Lord Mandelson was introduced to Mr. Epstein a decade before by his then partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, who along with her father and other members of her family, Lord Mandelson had known for many years. Ghislaine Maxwell was personally introducing British lords to Jeffrey Epstein. And in another email, Mandelson writes to Epstein, quote, need a lord on the board? And in a separate document, Epstein asked Mandelson to arrange a House of Lords tour for his 15-year-old goddaughter. And Mandelson's first question, the very first thing he writes back is, how old? How old? Now what's her name? Now when does she want to come? How old? Yeah. And then there's EFTA 000-37470. This is a UK National Crime Agency intelligence report sent to the FBI in June 2020. It's about a woman named Claire Guinness, or Lady Claire Iva, Countess of Iva, married into the Guinness brewing dynasty. Quote, Claire Iva was allegedly a close contact of Epstein and traveled and stayed with him on multiple occasions. And her current position, the one...
Isn't it funny how the fucking Guinness like show just came out not too long ago? Did you guys has anybody seen it? It's like a television show about the start of Guinness. All these people, they make themselves like super powerful and super famous. They have connections to Hollywood and funding and their products, commercials and Hollywood, and make news of it. And the file release was sneaky. There is no list where you can go through all of the files. You must use search terms. How many files will never be seen because no one came up with the correct terms? Eventually, I think they'll all be seen. People are putting these files together very, very well. David Shaw always gets my brain juices flowing. Nice. Oh, yeah. The sad part is this is just evidence of a part of the club. There's obviously a much larger group that's pulling their strings. I agree. But I think it's finally all being uncovered. And I hope the people continue to look. The government is not putting these files together and the information and giving it to us. The files are there. The people are the ones that are doing the research, uncovering the people that were involved in this shit. Why none of these people have been arrested is fucking beyond me. Now look, there's a case not far from here. Actually, it's about 3-hour drive from here. And it was, I think, like 37 children were rescued in an FBI investigation called, what was it called? So you guys could look it up. Let me let me see this really quick. Operation Safe Return. If you guys want to look up what I'm talking about, Operation Safe Return. They found like 37 kids. And it was an FBI coordinated effort by multiple agencies, and they busted like I think 7 people that were involved in trafficking those kids here in California. But even then, even in that investigation, where are the clients? You cannot traffic that many kids and not have clients or a client list. The FBI can get phone records. The FBI can get email addresses and emails. And just look what's coming out with the Epstein stuff. Why, in many of these types of cases where people get involved with trafficking and all this shit, where's the fucking clients? You know who's busting clients? The predator poachers are. Shout out to fucking all the predator poacher channels out there who are going out of the way to bust a lot of these people. The reason they got fucking purged off YouTube and other social media platforms is supposedly they didn't want these types of vigilantism. What the fuck? Nah, the truth is they were busting fucking people. CEOs of companies, they're busting people at the top. Busting cops. That's the same reason they stopped that show. The television show, the guy who gets all the perverts to come to the house and then they arrest him. What's the name of that show? Yeah, FBI. Where's all the fucking clients, bruh?
The NCAA flagged in the report, President of the NSPCC, the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, the UK's main child protection charity. In the emails, she's sending Epstein property listings. Coco Chanel's house in the south of France. And she writes, quote, "You could put in super cool for girls, even without aircon. Smiley faces.
To Catch a Predator. Thank you guys."
The president of the child protection charity emailing Jeffrey Epstein about properties that are super cool for girls. Now I need to be clear, George Farmer is not in the Epstein files. His father, Lord Farmer, is not directly named in the EFTA documents. I'm not going to fabricate a connection that doesn't exist. I'm not saying the Farmers are a part of any network. I'm saying this is the world they operate in. And this world has documents. The exact same role Lord Farmer held, Conservative Party treasurer, that's Prince Andrew's trusted money man in the files. The club that George Farmer ran is in the files. That's the one Epstein Circle jokes about running the country. In the House of Lords that his father was given a seat in, that's where Mandelson asked, how old, about a 15-year-old girl. So can we all be honest? 18 days is a little strange. Not just a little. 9 months later, she's married at a Trump property with the leader of Brexit as a guest. And both of them call it love at first sight. God's plan. A voice told him. In December 2024, episode 119, George sat down for his first real interview in over 5 years of marriage, and he said this, quote, "There are many different women I'm married to because I'm never quite sure who I'm gonna get in one day. You know, it's like someday I'm gonna get one personality, and the next day it's this personality. And then you've got your investigative journalist hat on, and then you've got your mother's hat on, and then you've got your Catholic hat on." He's joking, it's a husband joke, But given everything this series has covered about programming, about people who switch between personas depending on who's watching, I'll let you sit with that. Now, in my opinion, from what I've seen publicly, the on-camera dynamic between her and Charlie reads differently than her and George. That's not evidence. I'm not in their house. I'll let you be the judge. Okay, so let me show you something. Back in July 2025, before the documents dropped, Candace launched a whole Epstein series, Dead Men Tell No Tales, 2.2 million views. The Midas Touch, 2 million. Why did they change their tune on Epstein? 1.8 million. So she's building up, she has all this anticipation, millions of people watching, so she's building herself up essentially as an Epstein researcher, the one to go through the files when they come out. February 1st, 2026, 3 million documents drop. Now let's see what she did after that. In 6 weeks, she's uploaded around 100 videos. Bride of Charlie episodes 1, 5.3 million views, episode 2, 3.4, episode 3, 2.8, and then an open letter to Erica Kirk, 3.9 million. 7 full episodes, plus 20-something clips, all Erica Kirk, over 30 million views just on the Kirk content. Her Ball episode did 2.8 million, but look at the description. It's Jay-Z on the Epstein list. Nicki Minaj says your favorite artists are in a satanic cult. In the Charlie Kirk assassination timeline. It's just entertainment. That's not a woman researching, going through the filings. Now here's what happened while I was making the last few videos. She launched Bride of Charlie to go after Erica Kirk. She accused a dead man's widow of being an intelligence plant. She suggested Erica has connections to Epstein through a modeling agency. TPA USA said Erica never worked there, and no verified evidence has been presented publicly. And the episode where she tried to make that connection, Did Erica Kirk know Jeffrey Epstein? Dropped on March 11th, 2026. You know what else dropped on March 11th? Part 5 of this series. The same exact day. And then, within 48 hours of Part 5 going up, Candace posted about Project Monarch on X. She's mentioned MKUltra before in passing. She did an episode in 2022. But a specific post about Project Monarch within 48 hours of our Part 5? Talking about how the world will soon know. Now people may see this as good. However, look at the language she is using and the direction. Now I'm not saying she copied me or stole my work or anything. I'm saying she saw it. And if she saw it, then that means she might know what's in the files about her husband's world. She told you she knows all about Project Monarch. Okay, then make the video. Not about Erica Kirk, about this. About the Bullingdon Club. About the Bull. About everything we just showed you. Your fans deserve that. And I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
Now it makes sense.
Maybe
Candace.
she's building up to it.
Now it all makes
But
sense.
my issue
Candace.
is, well, we know she likes to talk about the ball stuff, right? I'm gonna say bail so it's a little bit easier. So she made the video, Bail So Hard. And on March 12th, she tweets some wild stuff about bail to Ben Shapiro. So you guys know she talks about bail constantly. Okay, so let me show you some crazy stuff. Because I don't think she's looked hard enough. Now look at her husband's club. The Bullingdon Club. Say it slowly. Bullingdon. The oldest
Riot
records
Club.
spell it Bullsden in 1179. Bullandina in 1231. English Place Name Society records it as Bulls Valley from Old English. The club's nickname is the Buller. Airmail ran a headline about them. You mess with the Buller, you get the horns. In Oxford itself, the city where this club operates, Oxford comes from Old English Oxenoforda, Ford of the Oxen, the Bull Club in the Ox City. Now look where his father operates. Lord Farmer's full title is Baron Farmer of Bishopsgate in the City of London. And the City of London is not regular London. It is a 1 square mile financial enclave with its own charter from 1067. That's older than the Magna Carta. It has its own police force, it has business-dominated elections where companies vote, not just people. And it has something called the Remembrancer, an unelected official who has sat in Parliament since 1571 protecting this city's interest. That is where Lord Farmer's title is anchored. And this square mile has been reset before. In 1666, the Great Fire burned for 4 days and destroyed 4/5 of the City of London. 13,200 houses, 87 churches, 52 guide halls. The entire medieval city was gone. And guess what? Only 6 people officially died. And keep in mind that 100,000 had already been wiped out by the plague the year before. So, back to back. 1665, plague. 1666, fire. Now the question is, who rebuilt it? The rebuild was controlled by a 6-man commission, and 2 of those men were Christopher Wren and Robert Hooke, both members of the Royal Society. The Royal Society was founded in 1660, just 6 years before the fire, and it grew out of something called the Invisible College, which is a term from the Rosicrucian pamphlets. Their founding member included Elias Ashmole, whose own diary confirms he was initiated into a Masonic lodge in 1646, and Sir Robert Moray, who Gresham College themselves described as, quote, soldier, scientist, spy, Freemason, and founder of Royal Society. And they have a memorial they built that's 202 feet tall, exactly 202 feet from where the fire started. Yeah, why don't you multiply that by 3? It's not just a memorial. It was designed as a zenith telescope with an underground laboratory beneath it for gravity experiments. So it's a scientific instrument disguised as a public monument? And when Wren walked through the ruins of old St. Paul's Cathedral, he found a stone fragment with one word on it: Resurgam, Latin for I shall rise again. He carved that word and the phoenix into the new cathedral. Order out of chaos. And underneath that square mile, 7 meters below Bloomberg's European headquarters on Walbrook Street, there's a Roman temple, built around 240 AD, discovered in 1954 on a World War II bomb site. It's a temple to Mithras. Let me walk you through what this actually was, because most people have only heard the name and maybe seen the image. Mithraism was a mystery religion in ancient Roman times focused on the god Mithras that dominated the Roman Empire for centuries. It was the religion of the military, of officers, of administrators, of the people who actually ran things. And it was entirely secret. Now Surface Wiki will only tell you so much, but essentially, this is an ancient cult with a bull sacrifice ritual.
And just so you guys know, the people that have been around for years that were involved in all this shit, they have kids. And then they have grandkids. And the bloodlines continue, right? And they continue to stay in power. Look, we learned this a long time ago with the highest paid journalist in the entire nation. What was that guy's name? He's works for CNN. He came out as being gay. What was the guy's name? He got caught faking stories and shit. Standing in water and fucking have big fans blowing fucking wind at him and all kinds of shit. What the fuck is this guy's name? Help me out, guys, in the chat. The highest paid journalist. Works for CNN. Anderson Cooper. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Anderson Cooper, the highest paid journalist. Anderson Cooper comes from the Vanderbilt family, right? These people are not just regulars like you and I. They're definitely part of this right here. Here I am. Thank you, bro. You already know what's up. Every time you come in the chat, bro, you're hitting us with some great comments. You're spot on, bro. Yeah, he's part of the Vanderbilt family. The highest paid journalist in the entire in the world comes from an elite family. Why? Why? Oh, I know why. I know why they do it. Because that's the message that they want to, whatever they say, that's what they're going to present to the world. Their truth, their rewritten history is what they're going to fucking present. That's why they are the highest paid. They come from aristocracy, what they call it. Right? The helicopter incident was Brian Williams. There was one. There was a couple. Anderson Cooper got caught lying and shit. That's right. That's right, Sheriff Winkle.
With the purpose of creating a god. Sounds crazy, but stay with me. You see this? That image is called a tauroctony. Mithras drives the dagger into the bull's throat. A scorpion is clamped onto the bull's private parts, attacking its generative power. A dog and a snake are drinking directly from the open wound, consuming the blood. A raven watches from above as the messenger. And from the body of the bull, from its spinal cord and blood, wheat and vine grow. Life from death, generation from sacrifice. Now the question is, why do we see the same Phrygian cap on Mithras that we see on the Magi in every Renaissance fresco? Why is that same cap worn by the French Masons and assigned to Libertas? Are we not supposed to notice this? Let's go deeper. Do you know what a taurobolium is? It's kind of hard to find if you don't know where to look. The fossa sanguinis, the pit. They dig a trench into the ground and cover it with a wooden platform with holes drilled through it. Then, the initiate goes down into the pit. A bull is led onto the platform above them and sacrificed with a consecrated spear. And everything that comes out of that animal pours down through the perforations into the person below. The 4th century poet Prudentius, who saw this with his own eyes, describes what happens next. They emerge from the pit, renatus in aeternum, reborn for eternity, purified of all past actions, regarded as the equal of God, reborn. Remember part 4? Renovatio? At the soldier grade, they brand a cross into your forehead with a hot iron to mark you as property of the deity. 7 grades of initiation. Corax the Raven, through Potter the Father. Each one compartmentalized so you only knew the mysteries of your own level and below. Keep in mind this was not a fringe religion on the edges of the empire. This was the dominant faith of the Roman military and administrative class. The temples cluster along every militarized frontier: Hadrian's Wall, the Rhine, the Danube, North Africa. The people who actually ran the empire were in these underground temples around the sacrifice of a bull. And when the Catholic Church suppressed Mithraism in the 4th century, it didn't disappear. It changed form. The historian H.L. Haywood traced the transmission from Mithraism into Manichaeism, and then into the Paulicians, then into the medieval Cathars and Waldensians, underground movements that were hunted as heretics for centuries but never fully destroyed. Then the Knights Templar. 9 ranks, accusations of secret initiation rituals and idol worship so specific that mainstream historians still argue about whether they were fabricated or real. Let's remember that even Crowley claimed Baphomet, the idol the Templars were accused of worshipping, was derived from Father Mithras. Pater Mithras, the highest grade of the cult. And then, Freemasonry. Albert Pike, the most authoritative Masonic writer who ever lived, in Morals and Dogma, 1871, explicitly describes the Mithraic 7-grade ladder as a Masonic symbol. 7 altars consecrated to 7 planets. The candidate passing through 7 stages of initiation through fearful trials. He called Freemasonry the modern era of the ancient mysteries. That's the supreme commander of the Scottish Rite.
Nice fucking attire you have there. What the fuck is that? The fuck are you wearing? Oh shit, whoa. That's wild.
Michael Tessarian maps this all out. Adonism, to Mithras, to Sol Invicti, to Christianity, to Templarism, to Freemasonry, to the British Empire. Same cult,
That's right.
different centuries, different clothes. Okay, so now let's talk about British intelligence. The structure of MI5 and MI6 is the Mithraic structure. Compartmentalized information, need to know clearance levels, graded hierarchy, oath-bound secrecy, recruitment by selection, not application, secular rank irrelevant inside the apparatus. And even the Nazis knew.
So my question is this. That secret society that's been destroying all the old buildings that were built before they came about. Is that a British secret society that came to do that in the US as well? Or was the US have their own faction of that secret society? Did it move over to the US and they did it from here? Or did they call the shots from out there? Let's find out.
Heinrich Himmler was obsessed with the idea that British intelligence was being run as a Rosicrucian order with the cult adepts in charge of MI5. And was he wrong? John Dee, 1527 to 1608, Queen Elizabeth's court astronomer, alchemist, ceremonial magician, and spy, signed his intelligence letters to the Queen with the symbol 007. This is where Ian Fleming got it. Aleister Crowley, confirmed MI5 and MI6 asset, declassified US military intelligence files, says he was
There he
an
is at the
employee
top
of
left.
the British government on official business. Crowley is the one who said Baphomet comes from Pater Mithras. His disciple, Maxwell Knight, ran MI5's counter-subversion section B5B and is widely considered to be the model for M in the Bond novels. Knight brought the occult novelist Dennis Wheatley into Churchill's wartime deception planning. Fleming knew all of them, based Le Chiffre on Crowley's appearance, named his agent after Dee's signature, and devised a plan with Knight to use Crowley to interrogate captured Nazi Rudolf Hess by exploiting Hess's known obsession with the occult. This is documented in Richard Spence's Secret Agent 666. And then there's the bowling den. I would assume that Candace has heard of it. Now, I don't know how much she knows, but I do remember seeing this clip.
How do you feel about Peter Thiel? You mean reptilian? An anagram for reptilian? I don't like the guy. He's definitely part of the PayPal mafia. I don't agree with the fucking billions upon billions of dollars, the contract that he got to basically mass surveil this entire nation. Yeah, I'm not okay with all that shit that Peter Thiel is doing. They don't give a fuck about us. They care about control, power and control. And they sell you the illusion of safety for you to sell your freedoms, to get rid of your freedoms for the illusion of safety. At the end of the day, we'll have neither. That's Peter Thiel. I don't like the guy. I don't trust the guy. and we're starting to see towns, cities get rid of the flock camera systems. People don't want them here. I think Crowley is a fallen angel is now playing Joe Rogan. There are many fallen amongst us. Disney played Hitler, Stalin played Madero. Repeats. You know what's crazy is they're tying Joe Rogan to Aleister Crowley. They say he looks just like him. Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. It would seem Candace knows about Tartaria.
I don't really know what's up and what's down, to be honest with you. I don't even.
Here's the important part of it all. This is the part that blew my fucking mind, because now we're getting into, see, this guy, Mind Unveiled, exposed who she's connected to. The secret society, the secret club that she's connected to through marriage, which helps us expose what they did. Not just who they are, but what they have done. And now he's about to put it into context, and it's fucking beautifully done. Because like I said, these thoughts have come across my mind. I just never put it into a question or an answer.
Believe in the moon landing.
Tartaria.
So, there you go. There's another one. There's something there. That's very funny. I would.
Not kidding.
Okay, but I already showed you who was in it. The kings, the prime ministers, the Rothschilds, and we went over the EFTA connections. But let's go a little deeper. So if you know what Tartaria is, then you'll understand. They destroy old world buildings.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, before, when I used to watch videos regarding Tartaria, I'm like, oh, if that's the case, why are they destroying all the buildings? Did they want us not to know exactly like what happened? Like, all that shit came across my mind, and when I seen this shit, I was like, oh shit. I was like, bam, finally somebody put it into context. I was like, fuck, that's why. Yeah, that was my reaction when I heard this shit.
It's literally a destruction club, a vandalism club. I went through every documented Bullingdon incident on record that I could find, and in 1894, they smashed 468 windows in Peckwater Quad at Christ Church. That building is Grade 1 listed, one of the earliest examples of Palladian architecture in England, built in 1706 on a site that goes back to 1246.
That's pretty interesting take on it, our guy. Free energy. Is that why you think they're destroyed? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're right about something, is that those buildings knew how to have free energy, right? We already know about the light bulb mafia, right? Anybody who comes out with free energy gets killed, right? Murdered, missing, never to be heard from again. But you might be onto something, our guy. Is this why you think that the Bullingdon Club is a destruction club to destroy real history so that they can continue to monetize free energy? Is this possible? Technology is ancient. There has been free energy for millennia. They couldn't charge for use of it, so they created the patent office, punished those that use it, and control the grid. You see why I like you guys? I think they're going to ice the whole USA and leave us, because we are the only ones left with Christian values, willing to fight for what this country is founded on. Possibly so, but I think it's past religion as well. They use religion as a reason to create divide and hate, just like they use politics. Some say the pyramids were actually giant batteries. Yeah, the pyramids definitely had free energy. Is that why the White House lost its wing? See what I did there?
Grade 1 is the highest designation in the country. Only 2.5% of all protected buildings receive it. In 2005, they destroyed a pub called the White Hart in Fifield. Grade 2.
No fucking kidding. Thomas Edison's light bulbs are still burning today in the museum. And how many years have we had electricity for since Thomas Edison made the first light bulb, and it still burns today? There's a fire station that still has the original light bulb at the very top. Have you heard about that, John Poplowski? Have you heard about that? The fire station that still has the original, one of the original light bulbs that was put in there, it still works. But Christian values are antithetical to freedom of religion. Think about that. This all predates that religion. They use anything that will divide the people. Absolutely.
2-star, built around 1442 as a charitable hospital for the poor. Princess Diana's nephew organized that dinner, and he got fined 80 pounds. In 2010, they vandalized the Hartwell House, another Grade 1, a Jacobean mansion from 1570 where the exiled King of France signed the document accepting his crown. They started a fire inside the King's Arms, Oxford's oldest pub, licensed since 1607. They trashed the Tudor Room at Weston Manor, a 15th century manor built inside a 13th century moat. Every single venue on record is a historically protected building. They don't just smash up chain restaurants. It would seem they go after old world architecture. And the newspapers in 1894 described the morning after Pegwater Quad as looking like, quote, the explosion of a bomb. The initiation follows the exact pattern we just traced. Mithras, to the Templars, to Freemasonry, death and rebirth. I already told you about the initiation, how they destroy your room while you watch. Why? And what does that even mean? Radek Sikorski, who went on to become the foreign minister of Poland, describes what happened to him. He said in the middle of the night, a dozen screaming figures burst into his room and demolished everything he owned. And then after everything was destroyed, Boris Johnson walked up, shook his hand, and said, "Congratulations, man. You've been chosen." So in a way, that's the rebirth. Think about it. What other logical explanation is there for doing this? It makes no sense. And the landlord of that pub they destroyed in 2005 said, each time I pulled one of them out of the melee, they apologized to me and were extremely polite, but then jumped right back in. It seems like some kind of ritual. So why are they doing rituals?
Oh, shit.
Apparently, members also swear a code of silence they call omerta. Boris Johnson, when reminded of the club, reportedly whispers omerta, omerta under his breath. An insider who spoke to the Daily Beast called it, quote, institutionalized bad behavior where you're rewarded for getting drunk and doing as much damage as possible. Institutionalized?
Imagine being part of a club where destruction is how you fucking rise in rank, right? Like, how destructive can you be? You want to become powerful? Well, how much can you fuck shit up? How much shit can you wreck? All right? Imagine, dude, like, we're over here trying to be good people and shit. I'm over here trying to be a good man. What the fuck, dude? I ain't going nowhere trying to be a good man over here. I might as well be destructive as fuck. I mean, isn't that what that guy from the Arizona Shed started doing? Being as destructive as possible? Fuck. Well, that didn't work out for him, did it? These people, though, they're just like, sounds like modern day gangs, right? Like, how many of the how many of the ops can you kill today? Whoever kills the most ops will become chancellor or some shit.
Fraternal language. This is what you want to be connected with, Candace? And if so,
Damn, Candace.
why won't you talk about it in more detail? I do see that you're talking about Freemasons and rituals related to Charlie Kirk, but this is definitely all connected. Evelyn Waugh attended Oxford in the 1920s and watched the Bullingdon firsthand. He put them in his novel, Decline and Fall, as the Bullinger Club, and described their dinners as the sound of the English county families baying for broken glass. Tom Dryburgh, who was there at Oxford with Waugh, said his satire was, quote, a mild account of the night of any Bullingdon Club dinner in Christchurch. Such a profusion of glass I never saw until the height of the Blitz. He's talking about the German bombing of London in World War II. After 1894, the club was banned from meeting within 15 miles of Oxford. Yet they came back. Winston Churchill himself, speaking in Parliament in 1910, this is Hansard, the permanent record. He said the sons of other classes may commit many of the same kind of offenses, and in boisterous and exuberant moments, whether at Oxford or anywhere else, may do things for which the working classes are committed to prison. Basically, we're the elite class and we can do what we want. If the working class does this, you go to prison. Also, did you know that there is a Masonic lodge at Oxford called Apollo University Lodge number 357? You can only join if you've matriculated at the university. 3 Bullingdon Club members were initiated into this one lodge. Prince Leopold, Queen Victoria's youngest son, Bullingdon member, initiated into Apollo Lodge in May 1874. Provincial Grand Master of Oxfordshire by age 22. The Masonic press was openly discussing making him Grand Master of all England before.
Be honest, guys. Who in this chat has ever heard of the Bullingdon Club? That's crazy. I've never heard of it, and I dig deep into conspiracy theories and all kinds of shit. I've never heard of this club. There's a reason why you've never heard of it, or I've never heard of it. They've kept it a secret. This guy really did his fucking research on this shit. And I think by him doing his research on this, it exposes a lot and it answers a bunch of questions that we've had. For those of us who like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. A lot of this history has been erased or forgotten or hidden, right? Look, we've learned how to use the internet for everything already. We learn how to play games. We learn how to watch porn. We learn how to watch sports and podcasts and all that shit. Everything that is entertainment. But we're finally using the internet to connect with each other, learn what our rights are, do some historical research, even though a lot of this information is still being suppressed. But the people are fucking adamant. They might take this guy's channel down in the future. But because we're watching this, now we could do our own research. Now we could do our own videos in the future regarding this shit. They can't take these things down fast enough because the people are on it. Thousands of people are watching it. Thousands of people will continue to do research on this and uncover truths and make videos.
He died at 30 from hemophilia. His brother, Edward VII, Grand Master of England for 27 years, personally proposed him for membership. Roger Lumley, 11th Earl of Scarborough, in the 1925 Bullingdon Club photograph, initiated into the same Apollo.
Look at this fool's attire. You've got mail. This motherfucker got mail right here. You got mail. This was from the UK. Albert Edward, Prince of Wales. Grand Master of the Ancient Fraternity. Free and accepted Masons of England.
Roger Lumley, 11th Earl of Scarborough, in the 1925 Bullingdon Club photograph, initiated into the same Apollo Lodge on the 3rd of May 1923. Roger Lumley became the Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England, the highest Masonic office in the country, for 16 years, 1951 to 1967. He achieved what Leopold was being groomed for before he died: Bullingdon dinner jacket to Grand Master's regalia. And then Cecil Rhodes, Bullingdon member, initiated into Apollo Lodge in 1877. And on the same day he became a life member, the same day he sat down and wrote what he called his Confession of Faith. In it, he wrote, "I become a member of the Masonic Order. I see the wealth and power they possess. Why should we not form a secret society with but one object, the furtherance of the British Empire? And then this. We should have its members placed at our universities and our schools and should watch the English youth passing through their hands." And he did it. The Society of the Elect in 1891, modeled on the Jesuits and Freemasonry, which became the Round Table movement, which became the Rhodes Scholarship, which is still operating out of Oxford today. And it's not just the Bullingdon Club. There's a web. The Gridiron Club, founded 1884, the political networking arm. David Cameron was a member of both the Bullingdon and the Gridiron simultaneously, 1987 to 1988. He ran the Destruction Club and the Power Club at the same time. John le Carré, the spy novelist, was a Gridiron member while working for both MI5 and MI6 as a student at Oxford. Rory Stewart, Gridiron member, his father was vice chief of MI6. And Stewart chaired something called La Cercle, a secret invitation-only foreign policy forum that the conservative MP Alan Clark described in his diaries as, quote, funded by the CIA. Stewart never declared this to Parliament. Then there's the Piers Gaveston Society, named after the rumored lover of King Edward II. There's 12 members, guests loaded onto buses with blacked-out windows and driven to a field, phones confiscated, NDAs signed? The events are described as transgressive. Cameron was allegedly in this one too. Gottfried von Bismarck, great-grandson of the German Chancellor, was in both the Piers Gaveston and the Bullingdon. And underneath all of these, the oldest one, the Phoenix Common Room at Brasenose College, founded 1782. Again, 12 members. Brown tailcoats. A silver phoenix figurine sits at the table as their 13th member. In the 1820s, Brasenose housed its own Hellfire Club chapter with satanic toast. 2 members died in connection with devil worship rituals. Edward Lee Trafford in 1834 and John Woodhouse in 1840. Woodhouse reportedly died upon toasting the devil and was found dragged through the bars of a window. The satanic toasts were abolished after that. Now that Hellfire chapter at Brasenose wasn't the original. The real Hellfire Club was founded by Sir Francis Dashwood in the 1740s. He called it the Order of the Friars of St. Francis of Wickham. They met at Medmenham Abbey on the Thames, a ruined Cistercian monastery that Dashwood rebuilt specifically for the order. And above the entrance he carved a phrase, "Do what thou wilt." Aleister Crowley used the exact same words as the central law of his religion, Thelema, 150 years later. It would seem Crowley inherited it from Dashwood, who took it from Rabelais, who wrote it as the motto of a fictional abbey in 1534. But apparently, Dashwood made it real. He built the abbey in stone. Interestingly, Candace talks about this. She calls them Frankists. Jacob Frank, 18th century, a sect whose central doctrine was redemption through sin. Cross every line, break every law, that's how you reach God. She calls it a satanic cult masquerading as something else. Same doctrine, same century. Dashwood carved "Do What Thou Wilt" above a door in England in the 1740s, and Frank was preaching.
So let me ask you guys this question, I guess. Have the satanic cults infiltrated pretty much every country? England, the United States, everywhere, right? They're saying that satanic cults are running the entire world pretty much, right? Is that possible? Where they fucking pretty much run and operate the entire universe? And how and why? Is it the banking system? Is it a certain type of people, a certain religion of people? I read a comment earlier that's asking me to mention a certain country. But yeah, it does seem like this particular country or area has compromised pretty much all of our world leaders, right? So
redemption through sin in Poland in the 1750s.
is it all being exposed?
At the 18th century version of this philosophy in Eastern Europe. The English version was meeting at a rebuilt abbey on the Thames. The membership of Dashwood's Hellfire Club reads like government. The Earl of Sandwich, the First Lord of the Admiralty running through Royal Navy, the Earl of Bute, Prime Minister by 1762, John Wilkes, the most famous radical politician in England, and Benjamin Franklin.
Isn't it funny, the Hellfire Clubs? They just paid homage to that in Stranger Things, right? The Hellfire. They had kids wearing Hellfire with the shirts. That's pretty much, I think, what they're doing, right? That's what they always do. They put it in the shows and the movies and say, look, guys, it's us. We did this. We did that, right? This is the unveiling. Yeah. That's true, guys.
Franklin visited Mendham multiple times during his years in London. In 1998, during renovations of Franklin's London house at 36 Craven Street, workers found the remains of at least 10 people buried in the basement, 6 of them children. Underneath Dashwood's estate at West Wickham, the caves are still there. They're a quarter-mile deep into the chalk, opening into a series of chambers. The last one called...
You said it right there, bro. You just called it out.
At West Wickham,
Perceived
the
authority.
caves are still there.
Read what it says right there. The Hellfire Club, an 18th century ritual cult for the famous and powerful. And the why is easy: money, power, and control. Right? Powerful. Control. To be powerful, you have to have money, right? You have to have that power. You have to have control. Even famous people kind of have this power as well, right? They make their opinions and their voices be heard. Oh, they matter because they're celebrities. It really is the unveiling. I believe so as well. And I love the channel name goes perfect with the video and everything that they're doing. They're unveiling the truth for us to see. They're pulling the wool away from our eyes, right?
They're a quarter-mile deep into the chalk, opening into a series of chambers. The last one called the Inner Temple. And to reach it, you cross an underground river they named the River Styx, the River of the Dead. You cross it, You enter the temple, you come back reborn. But think about it. Oxford, Oxenoforda, the ford of the oxen, the Ox City. And in the Ox City, a fraternal order that destroys Grade 1 listed Old World architecture as its initiation ritual, whose members swear Omerta. 3 of them walked into the same Masonic lodge, and 2 of them became Grand Masters of English Freemasonry. And the 3rd built his own secret society and put it in his will. And keep in mind, the motto of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, the highest degree, order out of chaos. And apparently, George Farmer was the president of this Bull Club. The son of Baron Farmer of Bishopsgate in the city of London, the square mile above the temple of the bull-slaying god, ran the Bull Club in the Ox City, and he proposed to Candace Owens in 18 days. Now there's one more layer. I promise I'm not reaching. There's a movement called British Israelism.
There it is.
It was huge in the 19th and early 20th century among the British elite, and it claims the British descend from the lost tribes. In England specifically, they identify as the tribe of Ephraim, and Ephraim's tribal symbol in Jewish tradition is the bull. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock. And Michael Tessarian, crazy how we've come full circle, calls British Israelism one of the cult of Aton's chief propaganda organs, a tool used to justify British imperial rule through biblical identity. Now, whether you believe that framework or not, the bull symbol runs through British elite culture. You can't unsee it once you see it. John Bull is the national personification of England. The bulldog is the national animal. Even the Vatican governs through papal bulls. Now look at this. The Rothschild coat of arms. A lion on the left, a unicorn on the right. Those are the same supporters on the royal coat of arms of the United Kingdom.
What is a unicorn?
Now in Jewish tribal tradition, the lion is the symbol of the
You're about to find out what the unicorn really represents.
tribe of Judah. The unicorn, okay, so listen, the unicorn in heraldry comes from the same verse I just read you. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. The bull and the unicorn are the same animal. Biblical scholars in the Brit-Am Hebrew Nations Project have documented this. The Hebrew word re'em, that gets translated as unicorn in the King James Bible, also translates as wild bull or wild ox. It referred to the auroch, a massive wild bovine that went extinct, and apparently when artists who had never seen one tried to draw it from a description, a huge horned beast, they drew a horse with one horn. The unicorn is the bull seen in profile. 2 horns become one. And remember Nathaniel Rothschild? Nat was in Bullingdon Club at Oxford alongside David Cameron, Boris Johnson, and George Osborne. The same Nat Rothschild who appears in the Epstein files, the same one Peter Mandelson told Epstein he'd been seeking advice from, and Epstein himself wrote to Peter Thiel in 2016. This is in the DOJ document release, EFTA 023876645. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. Les Wexner testified under oath to the House Oversight Committee that he gave Epstein power of attorney based on, and I quote, his personal work for the Rothschild family in France. So the family whose coat of arms carries the bull of Ephraim and the lion of Judah, whose scion sat in the Bull Club at Oxford, whose name appears throughout the Epstein files, that family is the one Jeffrey Epstein told people he represented? Don't you get it? The bull. Bull worship. From ancient Canaanites to Mithras to modern secret societies. And it would apparently seem the woman who tells 6 million subscribers about Baal worship married into a world that sits at the intersection of all of it. Anti-Trump blogger, doxing website fails, conservative overnight, TPUSA in 14 months, 80 million views in 6 months, engaged in 18 days to the president of the Bullingdon Club?
I guess one of the things I realized after watching this and after paying attention to a lot of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, I think this motherfucker was 100% connected to all secret societies. Right? Am I wrong here to think that he wasn't just connected to and doing business with certain secret societies? This motherfucker was connected to all of them.
Bulls Valley, the Buller, married at Trump Winery in 9 months. His father, Baron Farmer of Bishopsgate in the City of London, above the temple of the bull-slaying god, 7 meters below Bloomberg, and she makes an episode called Ball So Hard. She made a series called The Bride of Charlie. She investigated who Charlie Kirk married, who she really was, where she came from, and what the connections look like.
Erica France.
I just did the same thing to her. Her husband said it herself. There are many different women I'm married to. I'm never quite sure who I'm gonna get. And she told you. Overnight. Every UFTA document I reference in this video is in the public release. Every statement about Lord Farmer is on his Wikipedia page and UK parliamentary record. Every detail about the marriage timeline comes from Candace and George's own interviews. Every detail about the Bullingdon Club, the City of London, the Mithraeum, the 7 grades of Mithras, the Rothschild coat of arms, the etymology of every word, the declassified MI5 files on Crowley. It's all public record. The connections and patterns I've drawn are my interpretation of that public record. I give you the receipts so you can check my work. And so, why does the person with the biggest platform in this space marry into it? One last thing. For anyone asking who I am, I'm an artist. I've dedicated my life to research, and it shows. I literally grinded my way up here. Have you made a 9-hour video? I've shown time and time again that I'm willing to work for the truth. Not one sponsor in 7 years. That's the difference between me and these other people that you call plants. I'm not giving you truth. I'm working for it myself, and you're joining along. I know my supporters know, but I'm done with the comments calling me a plant.
That's right.
I earned this. You know the difference. I trust you to see this. Get ready for part 7. And if you guys don't mind, please come follow me on X. I'm much more active there now with everything going on, and I could definitely use the extra support. Please let me know if there's anything I missed. Thanks for watching, and all we can hope is that our minds may be unveiled.
I'm following that dude for sure.
You ready to
man.
continue down the rabbit?
For sure, for sure. You guys got to go back and watch the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 videos that he's posted. I recommend going to go watch the old ones as well. He does a lot of videos on Tartaria, so he understands that world, at least that conspiracy theory. He's done outstanding videos. I haven't watched that 9-hour video, but I just might, notably Nova. I definitely recommend you guys go watch his work, his videos. Why is my internet acting up? What? Come on, man. Quit playing with me, YouTube. Tartaria explained. See, his oldest videos are about Tartaria. I find that conversation extremely interesting. And I think that more videos should be done regarding that. More people should do their own research regarding all of that. And one question that I had regarding all of that, I think that this video answered it. Now we know the why. And I think it was our guy and a couple of you guys in here expressed or at least gave your opinion or your answer as to why. And possibly to hide free energy. I don't know. It's definitely an eye opener, right? Notably Nova. When I watched this video, I was like, fuck, man. I usually don't talk about this kind of stuff on my channel, but why? Why not? It definitely has everything to do with government accountability. Think about it. The government is connected to all of these people, right? Well, that does it for today's show. We were actually live for 2 hours today, guys. I got to go use the restroom. This is definitely an eye-opening video. Mind Unveiled. Thank you for the tremendous work that you're fucking doing. You're probably my favorite channel right now. I'm going to go binge watch that 9-hour video. Peace out, guys.